Good morning to you, Lagos, and thank you very much for joining us. It's 7:31, and you're listening to Smooth 98.1. This is Smooth Breakfast with Ayo
and Valentine.
And it's time for us to go into detailed analysis of our newspaper stories this morning on Freshly Pressed 981. Lagos, join us using that hashtag Freshly Pressed 981 on Twitter at Smooth 981 FM. And of course, you can send in messages through WhatsApp to the number.
That's 0809 444 0981.
Of course, that is our WhatsApp number for messages only. As we go through the details of today's stories, Lagos, remember that hashtag Freshly Pressed 981 and the WhatsApp number 0809 444 0981. Joining us this morning to do analysis to these stories, we have our analysts, the three gentlemen in the studio this morning. Cheta Nwaeze at Cheta on Twitter. Good morning, Cheta.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
It's a new year to you, right? Because we're crossing into February in a few days, I understand. And Justin is joining us this morning. Justin is at Justin Ijeh. Good morning, Justin.
Morning, Lagos.
Thank you for joining us. And not forgetting Mr. G Quest himself. That is his Twitter handle. Is Gbolahan. Good morning, Gbolahan.
Morning, Valentine. Morning, Lagos.
Good morning. Thank you very much. As we get into the first story.
The first story is right here in Lagos, and this is from the Premium Times. Lagos lawmakers want Ambode sacked. Someone governor.
Again.
Thank you for the backing track. Right, now there's a new twist to the lingering crisis between the Lagos State House of Assembly and the state governor Ambode, as yesterday some lawmakers called for his removal from office. Now this is following, amongst a few other things that they've termed misconduct, his failure to present the state's 2019 budget earlier in the month. Well,
Yes, this rumor has been making the news for quite a while now. I mean, we've been hearing about threats to impeach the governor for several months now. I think in October anyway, the Lagos State Speaker of the House of Assembly, that is Mudashiru Obaso, did make a statement, and I'll quote him anyway on this statement. Said if there would be an impeachment, it would be from the governor, and if there would not be any need for impeachment, it would also be from him based on his actions.
Interesting statement,
exactly.
Right there, isn't it?
So when you look at that statement, and this statement was made back in October, and of course when we look at the antecedents that has led to this anyway, there has been a tussle anyway for who's going to be the next governor of Lagos State. Then there was a lot of issues if it was going to be Ambode coming back for the second term, and I mean, of course, we know there was a lot of issues in the party and a lot of disagreements as well too. But I never knew that he was also having problems with the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Yes.
You never knew?
Well, I didn't know. Of course.
I mean, there'd been talks or whispers of impeachment from even just right before the primaries and afterwards.
Exactly. So, but you begin to ask what led into these problems with the Lagos State House of Assembly anyway. Because all along I'd always thought, okay, he had an issue with the political structure anyway and the godfathers of the party or so. But of course, it seems like when the godfather isn't happy with you, he also has the control of the Lagos State House of Assembly, and this is the ripple effect of what we're seeing.
Speaking like an everyday man, it seems like they've been setting this trap for him for a long time.
It seems like it. And now when we look at the situation, they're talking about the reason. It's gross misconduct, they called it. And what's the gross misconduct? Allegedly, he hasn't actually tendered the 2019 budget. Yes, fair enough. That is something that we should look at, which has never happened or hasn't actually happened in Lagos State for over 10 years now. So when we're looking at this situation now, it's something unusual. We're thinking about it. The budget should have actually been presented in December.
In person?
Yes, in person. But we know what happened in December anyway. He didn't turn up to do the presentation. And then as well too, when we also had the State House of Assembly as well too, there was, for some strange reason anyway, they didn't actually accept the tendering as well.
It wasn't a strange reason.
It happened around the Christmas period.
Because they said that he tendered the budget. He tendered the intention to present the budget in the verbal terms.
Verbal, yes.
By word of mouth. But they were on recess at the time.
Yes.
He tendered it on the 24th of December, and they said they couldn't sit on it.
But they've been back from recess since for how long now?
For a while now.
But the real question is, why present a budget in December, very close to the new year, for a fiscal year? For
Cheta, this is what you're not allowed to speak. Well, some reports have actually stated that one of the grounds of the State House of Assembly, is that he's spent about 20% of the budget without it being passed, and that comes under gross misconduct.
Well, yeah, it's for now, the investigations need to be made. It's alleged that he has spent over 20% of the budget. But then, when we also go back to the 2018 budget as well, so I hear that it's not even been, we haven't actually even
implemented fully.
It's not been implemented fully. So I now begin to ask myself that question as well. So why are we talking about 2019 budget and spending on that when we still have the 2018 budget?
Let me just weigh in on this, okay, from a different perspective, for the sake of the young ones who are listening, okay?
Great.
Now, certain institutional tools in governance, things like the impeachment process, are there as measures of control, not for politicking. Now, this is without prejudice to what Ms. Ambode may or may not have done, but in Nigeria, we have a situation where a tool that is meant to rein in abuse of office and power is usually, I'm not saying it's being done in this case, but it's typically used to achieve political means. So instead of addressing the issues of what has a person done wrong, you see it being used as a like I said, it's a political, as a stick, okay, to whip you into line, and then if you get into line, everything is fine and dandy. That is wrong.
Can I wait for 5 seconds?
No, 5 seconds, Cheta.
Let's move on to
Don't
the
worry, your
next
5
story,
seconds
please.
is coming. But moving away from Lagos State, but remaining in the southwest, now in Ekiti State. Good news right there. As the Ekiti Elections petition tribunal upholds Fayemi's victory, and this is from the Guardian. Now, the tribunal, in a unanimous judgment by a 3-man panel of justices, says there was no merit in the petition of the PDP and its candidate in the election, that is Professor Kolapo Olushola. Good news right there. The rule of law or justice being served in Ekiti. Justin.
Ostensibly so. You can call it good news. Yes, democratic institutions are flexing their muscles and they are getting stronger over time. So Mr. Fayemi's electoral victory over the PDP's Professor Kolapo Olushola has been upheld by the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Suleiman Belgore. Basically, he's told us that the PDP and their candidate were unable to substantiate their claim. And what was the claim? He said that the polling units and the elections were characterized by lack of accreditation, overvoting, mutilation of results, inaccurate ballot accounts, a whole litany of accusations that were put before the commission, the tribunal. But Justice Belgore has said that scanty evidence was provided and they were not able to prove their case. And on the whole, according to him, we hold that the petitioners failed to prove the allegations on the balance of probability. The PDP, on the other hand, speaking through their director of media for Professor Olushola, Larry Olayinka, said that this is not the last bus stop.
Yeah. So
in other words,
there's still more to come.
I'll be back.
Watch out for part 2. Alright, once the updates come, we will definitely let you know. Don't forget, we would love to hear your views and comments, and we'll be taking some from WhatsApp.
Lombardo sent in this message. Says Ambode has forgotten all about the housing program Fashola started. Since he assumed office, he put a stop to all the housing projects, and even the ones that people have paid for. He calls it bad government. Now, moving on, Kensky says Ambode's saga shows that those who ride on the back of a tiger frequently end up in its belly. Jerry says, good morning, Benga. No, sorry, who's this? Okay. No, I don't think we tuned into the right Jerry. It's Freshly Press 91 and Smooth 98.1. Yinka says, this is the reason why state houses of assembly should be scrapped, and we do enough work to avoid such assemblies from majorly one political party. They will either be at the mercy of the godfather or the governor. Now, considering what Ambode stands to lose as benefits of an ex-governor of the Lagos State, he's not an ex yet, so guys, please. He says he should, okay, I can't read this next line, but Yinka, thank you very much for sending this in.
Yinka is advising him with regards to not being impeached. Just finish
Just
your
lay low.
term and
So,
get your
behave yourself.
benefits.
Alright, so yes, you can trust and believe in you. MI from Akoka says, the talk of impeachment is very political. He's being freaked just to put him in check. Ambode has become the unloved child. He does not wash his hands. They say he's unhygienic. If he does, they say he's using too much water. Let's move on.
All right. Okay, moving away from that and going on to our next story. This one is from the Punch newspaper. Rising foreign debt profile bad for the economy. Now, according to the chairman of the committee on foreign and local debt, Senator Shehu Sani, they've expressed worry about the rising foreign debt profile of the country and described the trend as very dangerous to the nation's economy.
Yes, we've been talking about this rising debt for quite a while now. Of course, we know our debt profile now. We're about $73 billion or so in debt, and the implication of this is that government isn't actually able to spend money on development and investing in the future. So, of course, who's going to pay for it? Is the future generations that will end up paying for this. Well, this comment was raised by the chairman of the committee on foreign and local debt, that is Senator Shehu also, and he was looking at the situation on ground at the moment now, and what has led to this is currently at the moment the government is actually in talks with Brazil and also India as well too, and they're talking of raising more debt as well too. We're talking about raising about $1 billion from Brazil and about $100 million it says in this article, although in another article I did actually read that we're talking about $5 billion that is actually being made available for Nigeria from India for ICT development also. Right.
Yeah.
So
they can raise the money from Onnoghen's accounts.
so when we're looking at this, then of course our debt level is rising as well too, and the senator did actually make a statement, and in the statement he was saying that this money that we're borrowing, we're not actually using the money for production, but we're actually using it for building infrastructures like roads, airports, what have you, and schools and what have you. And in his own view, he feels that we should actually be using it for production. I would actually say I slightly disagree with that, because when you're talking about borrowing money, yes, you need infrastructures as well for production.
Yes.
You need infrastructure, you need rails, you need roads, in order for you to be able to transport your goods from one end of the country to the other as well, cheaper as well. And that would obviously translate into production and stimulating growth also. But unfortunately, right now, at the moment, we're talking about a debt ceiling that has risen astronomically. I mean, according to this report, we're talking about $11 billion or so has been borrowed over the last 3 years or so. So when we're looking at that, we're also looking at it, what exactly has been the impact of that money that has been borrowed over this 3-year or 4-year period. We're yet to see the impact of that. When are we going to see the impact?
That's possibly the challenge, and that people cry out for no more debt. Not because it's bad in its sense, obviously, as in economics. It's the fact that what is the money being used for? If it's for infrastructure, it's a different ballgame. But what has happened historically is that it's gone into revenue costs, so recurrent costs, and so there's no benefit really.
And more money is being pumped into Ajakuta still. Anyway, let's move on to this. Messages here on WhatsApp. Lawrence from Fayemi says, the kind of politics these politicians in Lagos are playing is uncalled for. The governor has just few months to hand over to the incoming governor. So what's the need for this? No wonder the state has not been working for 8 months now. Chaos everywhere. Thank you, Lawrence. Another message here from Levy from First Access. The way I'm seeing this, if care is not taken, he may be impeached for Ekiti. What do you think? Now, kudos from Surulere says, the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, he says, are only acting as scripts. You do not want the governor to spend money, and you want him to present a budget. Of what use is the presentation of the budget when the House of Assembly would not allow him function effectively? They should just allow the governor to complete his tenure peacefully and see if he could get a ministerial position with PMB when the latter gets re-elected.
Oh, really?
Very interesting. Let's move on to you, Cheta, for this story. And this is coming from the pages of Premium Times. Still talking about the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who is facing trial on alleged false declaration of assets. Well, in a reaction, or we'll say fallout from what's been happening over the weekend, is spilling into yesterday. The Nigerian Bar Association has resolved to embark on a 2-day boycott of courts to protest the suspension of the Nigeria's Chief Justice. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, let's start with the fact that the NBA held their meeting yesterday and decided to do these boycotts. But quite a number of NBA sub-branches have, messages have leaked, WhatsApp messages where they instructed their members not to join in the boycott. boycotts. And unfortunately, it's evolving along ethnic lines. So you see that we are having people from certain parts of the country saying that they will boycott, and people from other parts of the country say that they will not boycott. We are all losing sight of the big issue, which is the fact, which is executive overreach. The Senate was supposed to reconvene today. Then around 3 in the afternoon yesterday, messages went around because an invitation went out from the State House, from ASUU to APC senators that they should meet with the president at 7:30 p.m. yesterday. And messages went out. I think one of the APC senators leaked that they were going to sort the guys, the senators who met with the president, some money to ensure that both Saraki and who is the Senate President and Ogara, who is the House of Reps Speaker, were impeached. One thing that I certainly can confirm, because one of my people on the ground saw it, was that security people were moving into position around the National Assembly yesterday. So it's entirely possible that they were going to try to block some people from entering, so that they will form quorum and carry through the impeachment.
But didn't it seem so obvious from yesterday's story?
So the Senate leadership played a fast one and tossed the ball back to the Supreme Court, cancelled today's plenary, and told the Supreme Court to interpret this. So what they've essentially done is that they've told the Supreme Court, well, it's up to you to decide whether you descend into irrelevancy, because if the Supreme Court fails to interpret this correctly, then it means that the Supreme Court and the judiciary become a toothless bulldog going forward. But other interesting things that happened is the Foreign Affairs Ministry released a press statement yesterday in which they basically accused all the people who have been bankrolling us of all sorts of nefarious activities. But for me, the most crucial part of it was paragraph 5 of the statement, where they talked about the 2 southern judges that gave minority judgments in President Buhari's favor, George Okuntade and Silvanus and so forth. And crucially, they witnessed the fact that it was actually 3 southern judges that gave minority judgments in Buhari's favor. The last one being Walter Onnoghen. So the question is why? And that Ministry of Foreign Affairs press release kept using the word opposition. It's a very, it shows the mindset in question. Finally, yesterday also, because yesterday was very interesting in this case, the details, or so-called details of Onnoghen's accounts that they've been telling us is billion leaked, and we found that it was actually turnover. So in a 4-year period from October 2012 to September 2016, $1.9 million passed through his accounts, £138,000 passed through, 55,000 euro passed through, and then over an 11-year period from September 2005 to September 2016, 92 million naira passed through. These are
which are essentially
ridiculously small amounts, really, over the period.
Which is essentially the same amount you'd find in a bank statement if you asked for it at the end.
That
shows not exactly.
Is this what they are calling this thing? These people want us to be poor, and that is the one I find offensive. Sorry, for me personally, it's because economic.
But Cheta, the essential question they're asking is, where was the source of that money?
Exactly.
Why didn't you?
So why not give the man the chance to prove it in court before going out on the media trial and doing as if he's guilty or all sorts?
We need to move on to more
That's what I
stories.
find offensive.
All right.
So
Alright,
that
we need
don't
to move
lose
on to-
sight of some of the back end stuff happening. The acting CJN has inaugurated over 200 election tribunal judges while this argument is going on.
Right.
Just so we know
Exactly.
You
Forget
can
the
call that
smoke
one.
screen
Me,
and let's
as I'm a
focus
trader,
on the
I
meat
find
of the
the
matter.
money thing
Alright.
offensive.
Let's move
All
on.
right, Cheta. All right. Okay. So now, for those who have been calling to allow Cheta to speak, you see he has spoken now because some people are coming for us. All right. Okay. Now, our next story is from the Punch newspaper. Customs Comptroller General who wants import duty on vehicles reduced to 45%. All right. The Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, retired, said that with the high rate of smuggling of vehicles, the reason he's called for this is because of the high rate of smuggling of vehicles into the country, amongst other things. People are going to bordering towns to bring in their cars, reducing revenue for the nation, and so it's asking that we reduce this.
Sure, he was bragging before.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this was going to end up happening anyway.
Own
When,
goal.
when you have a 70% levy on cars coming into the country, you would know that, of course, this is what you call punitive taxes. I mean, once you start levying such a huge amount of money on cars or so, people will just find alternative ways of bringing in the cars.
Which they
So,
did.
which is what they've just done. And I mean, when they came up with this policy, then we thought this was a very stupid uh, policy to have come up with. I mean, you're talking about 35% import duty, then additional taxes of another 35%, which is making 70% all in total as well. So invariably, what you're saying is that whenever you're bringing in a brand new car, you're almost bringing in 1.7 times, almost twice, almost
Yeah.
double the car you should be bringing in. So who would pay that kind of money
So let's start making
apart
cars
from
in
government
Nigeria.
officials?
No,
And
it's
of
not,
course,
Valentine, let me see, it's not less than it, it's about the silliness of the policy.
Mm.
And the fact that what these policies, and not just this one, but other things have effectively done, is that they've increased the smuggling business. The smuggling business is now booming. Regularly, we get security reports of smugglers engaging customs in gun battles. We get reports of customs officials going with colluding with smugglers, because the thing has been, you've created incentives for people to get
Well, we have other stories to get to, by the way. Thank you very much, Cheta, and
is
Gbolahan for that one. From Punch newspaper, we'll have this next story. I'll come to you, Cheta, for this. IPOB fixes referendum for presidential poll day. The details of it, the leader spoke through his spokesman, Ayo Powerful, and said the group will come out with modalities for the referendum in a few days. Why should we be interested in this story? I mean, it's unlawful in every sense, as it seems, but what are your
Forget
thoughts?
about the unlawfulness of the matter. This just shows the kind of clowns that these people are. And this is, I mean, you want to do a referendum. A referendum is infinitely more serious business than a party. And I don't know any party that you announced 2 weeks to time. When you were getting married, how long did it take you to plan?
We about 9 months.
That's enough to have a baby.
Well, in
the point
essence,
is,
yes.
something as serious as that.
Yeah.
And this is me speaking as somebody who was a subject of a verbal mouthful from Nnamdi Kanu in late December. In short, I found it funny because he told his audience that Cheta Nwaeze was born on a rubbish heap in the Kokomaiko and speaks Yoruba better than Igbo. So it gives you an insight into how these people think, and the fact that they don't do anything.
He didn't call
They
you a
don't.
clone, though.
Huh?
He didn't say you are a
Oh,
clone.
please come on. It shows that they don't plan anything. They are just freestyling and walking as the wind blows them. I want to build a country on that kind of thing. People count me out of that nonsense.
Yinka sent in a message on WhatsApp, says, I do not understand something. Are we borrowing up to 10 billion naira, $10 billion? You guys know we should just call Uncle Aliko, Uncle Femo, or Adenuga, or even add Miss.
Will you borrow a business like
to borrow
Nigeria
us.
your money?
well, we can
He
just
says, what
tax
do you
them more,
think?
though.
That's
You should
Yinka.
tax them
We
more,
need to
right?
take more messages, guys. So BE from K2 says the fast move by the government is appalling. They can't wait for the proper investigation from the Code of Conduct Bureau and swearing a new CJN for the election. God help us on the come February. Ian says, so I think these guys want to say that the CJN shouldn't have had such money in his account. It should be broke. I hope I'm wrong. All right, let's move on to you, Justin, for this story. Now, Gencos, the federal government, this is talking about generating companies of Nigeria, federal government and the World Bank not meeting targets in the program to salvage power sector. There's been a lot of outcry from Gencos over time, for the past month actually, decrying the failing situation in the power sector in Nigeria. They spoke about the power sector recovery program as a joint plan to resuscitate the dwindling fortunes of Nigeria's privatized power sector. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, Dr. Joy Gadi, that's the executive secretary of the APGC, the Association of Power Generation. She's run a sustained campaign against the regulatory agencies,
Yes.
basically on the warpath with.
It's like an affront, a steady
Yes,
affront.
there's a
yes.
steady affront between both of them because she's holding forth for her constituency, which is the members of the association, the people who got the licenses for the power sector. We talked about them last week. Now, in this particular story, she's basically saying that they have failed to implement the PSRP. Now, what is the PSRP? It's an intervention program that was launched by the Federal Ministry of Power in concert with all the stakeholders. It's a series of policy actions thematically focused on operational governance and financial interventions to be implemented by the FGN. Madam Ogaji is simply saying they have failed to implement it. She's making these statements just before election. So I'm wondering what the relationship between herself and the Honorable Minister for Power is. Our own Babaraj. Our own Babaraj. It's a very sad situation, because while they are at it, Nigeria is losing $29.3 billion annually due to inadequate power supply. And according to the story, we will require investments of approximately 1.5 billion annually between now and 2021. Rather, from 2017, between 2017 and 2021 to achieve viability, and we are way off the mark. In the meantime, the generator cartel is smiling to the bank.
Yeah, very interesting. Let's take messages here on Twitter. Justin Justman says, I feel something has terribly gone wrong in this saga. Those supporting Buhari, are they saying the president cannot get results by following the law? That's a serious infraction. Abu Abdullah said this message on Twitter. It says, Cheta is busy spreading fake news and Valdash on national radio, giving credence to rumors of APC senators being bribed to impeach Araki and Co.
I use the word rumor, Abi.
It is a rumor. It has not been proven.
So
yes. So there you go. I mean,
boycotting board.
They have they have messages. They have rights to send the messages. So that's why.
So I have right to tell them to boycotting board.
But it's a rumor. Let's
and
move
I said
on.
rumor.
Cheta.
So Punch newspaper. Cheta, unfortunately, I have to come to you for this one. But
Unfortunately.
take a joke. You can do jokes, right? Now, federal government planning to eliminate me. Ortom alleges. This is not a joke, apparently, because the Benue State governor is crying out and saying that those from the APC, the ruling party, have been castigating and going after him since he decamped. But what are your thoughts on this?
Ortom is just talking nonsense. I mean, he who alleges must prove. He just comes down because he has this soapbox of being a governor. Listen, he's doing it to deflect from his very past.
Buhari's wife said the same thing a few months ago.
That they want to kill Ortom.
No, that there's a cabal that's controlling the federal government.
We're not talking of the cabal. Ortom said that they want to kill him. That is what we're
But,
talking about.
But that's not the only thing he said.
It's not the only thing he said,
No, but
yes.
Cheta,
But
we
the
can't
more
easily
pertinent...
we can't easily dismiss it.
We
because you don't
should
feel
be
that
able
it's
to
true.
dismiss this
You
kind
must
of thing,
give
because we
merit.
have built a country where people just come and throw allegations just like that without substance.
It's
He's
shameful that
do-
people who occupy that kind of office can make those kind of
I
statements.
said, come on.
frivolous.
He's doing this to distract from the attention that he has been a very bad governor. He's owing months of salaries. He has done nothing for his state. He's attracted little in terms of investment to his state. Ortom is less than zero, period. And it doesn't in short, as a matter of fact, despite the fact that I think the APC, especially at federal level, has performed woefully, the person that the APC has brought up to be their governorship candidate, was that his name again, is way better than Ortom. Ortom is a disgrace.
So because of that, he should be killed, or he should not. We should cast aside his allegations of his life being threatened.
If you are making such allegations, take it to court.
He needs to
Prove
talk to
it.
security agencies.
Yeah,
Alright,
don't
thank
come
you.
and start telling us nonsense on
Thank you very much. Let's move on, Cheta. Please, final story here from Premium Times.
learning bad
On the
habits.
strike, ASUU receives license to run pension scheme. Take us through the story, Justin, please.
So yes, the latest installment in the ASUU FG saga. Part of the quarrel has been, part of the demands that ASUU has made that has been outstanding. The reason why they've been on strike since November, why students have been at home since November, is that they wanted to run their own pension scheme.
Yeah.
Well, hallelujah, Christmas Day has come.
They have it now.
They have it
But
now.
amongst many other requests.
Amongst
A
many
number
other
of requests, yeah.
So one green bottle down,
Yeah.
X number more to go. But on a more serious note, I have said this on this program before. One of the barometers to measure the seriousness of any country's future intentions is to check how they treat their young people and their elderly. Nigeria is failing, has failed, continues to fail in this regard. Young people have been at home since November because old men are rattling their sabers over stupid requests like, I want to run my own pension scheme as far as I'm concerned. Those people kept me at home. They made me do a 4-year course for 6 years. I never had a carryover.
You and I are like,
ASUU is still at it.
Yes.
Years later.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
All right, thank you very much, and special thanks to Analysts for coming into the studio
Thank you
this
very
morning.
much.
Special thanks to Cheta for answering at Chickster, CHXTA. You can tweet at him and ask him all your questions and continue the conversation there on social media. And not forgetting Gbolahan at Mr. G Quest. and of course Justin at Justin Ijeh. Coming up next in 15 minutes, Lagos, we go into the world of entertainment here on the show.
With the Grapevine 981, we definitely want to tune into this one. We review music, videos, and of course we might
stories.
have a guest or not.
Oh yes, fingers crossed. All right, this is Smooth Breakfast with Ayo
And Valentine.
Good morning.